You might remember when all of this is happening, there was a problem. A decision part of the district's statutory operating debt to return to financial stability because of a budgeting error.
Well, they're idiots, and they didn't budget properly.
A budgeting error that caused $21
Right.
million
They're morons.
shortfall.
Sheesh.
What was the shortfall?
Morons.
$21 million, Kenny.
That's it. You can make that up. It's in a drawer somewhere.
They had already closed one school, added this one on Monday. They think, they're not sure, but they think they should not have to close any other schools.
And then these saps will go to the public and say, give us more money, and the saps will vote them some more money. Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
They're all saps.
Everybody's
Both
a sap,
sides. Everybody's
including
a sap.
us.
That's why ICE is here.
Yep.
Go get them, boys.
Joe,
Who are we
you're
mad at?
kind of down today, aren't you, Joe?
No, not really.
It's supposed to be positive Thursday.
Oh, positive.
Best of
Thursday, I
luck,
forgot.
Ken.
Hey, hi, fellas.
We got cashews
John,
and almonds.
thank you.
You bet.
What do you want here?
I want
I
to
want to know, yesterday, are we going to do something here, Chris? Because I have
Yeah.
questions about our buddy Marion Rarick.
I'll toss it to you in a second, but I'd like to talk to you about Masters Maples and mastersmaples.com.
I would like to say something about Masters Maples.
Please.
I made some bacon last night. We made a little egg bake for dinner. I took the sugar maple
help me.
powder they had and sprinkled it on the bacon.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
why was I not called?
Just even do that. It was so fabulous. I can't even tell you.
I did get some thick bacon and did the syrup a couple of Sundays
syrup's
ago
good
for the
too.
boys,
Yep.
and it was
How
And you got to bake the
thick.
bacon. You bake it.
Kenny.
Was
It
it-
was so thick. It
Are we
was
going
like
to do this for 10 minutes?
it was like zoo glass thick.
Was it prison wall thick?
Sue glass.
prison wall thick.
That's how thick
Thicker
it
than
was.
Joe's glasses as a kid.
But it doesn't matter. The maple syrup is the best that Minnesota has to offer, and it's also 100% made right here in the great state of Minnesota. But it's also the sweet and savory seasonings and rubs, and also, as Rick mentioned, the 100% pure maple sugar. But see it for yourself. Go to mastersmaples.com. They have gift packs available if you'd like to give the gift of Masters Maples. And it's our buddy Ben, and this is his creation, 12, 13 years ago now, that Masters Maples came into existence. And it's wonderful stuff, and it's made right here in the great state of Minnesota by a GLer. It's our buddy Ben. Mastersmaples.com. Taste the difference, Kenny Olson.
There was a hilarious comedy going on yesterday in Washington. One of the Minnesota representatives was a GLer and a good friend of the show, Marion Rarick, who had to answer questions about Trump instead of fraud.
Right.
And in the middle of this, because we're fun and great friends, Chris sent her a text message asking her if she's had lunch yet.
Well,
What was
she's
your text?
testifying. Now,
Yeah,
did
well,
you get an acknowledgement? Did
So
she look down at her phone?
She did, because Gabe and I were sitting next to each other monitoring the testimony.
Yep.
And I did see her kind of glance down her phone and almost give it the and then it was ... No.
Oh, she texted back.
Oh yeah, she did. She did respond
Oh,
to
my
me.
God.
But how long do we know how long were they forced to sit there?
Long time.
It was
This is why we hate politicians. What happened yesterday in Washington was a disgrace
Oh, it was terribly
and an
embarrassing.
embarrassment. And every single American on both sides of the aisle should be outraged about what happened
to
there.
the point, Kenny, it would be fun to see what percentage of time was actually devoted to discussing fraud in Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yep.
Do you know that we have a park board in Minneapolis?
I knew that.
The Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. Its president is Tom Olson. And he wishes now, he's very anti-automobile. He makes no secret of that. And he wishes to close the parkways in Minneapolis to automobiles. Roads, not just, for a day. I mean, he doesn't want
shut 'em
cars in
down.
there anymore. No. And the roads would be open only to pedestrians and bicyclists. Now, he introduced this yesterday. The board took a full vote on this proposal yesterday, curtailing public input. Apparently, they were trying to avoid public input. I don't know the results of the vote. You might want to look that up. Minneapolis Park and Rec Board voted yesterday on closing the roads. Olson won re-election as an at-large commissioner. This is from the Minneapolis Times. There are great news sources to consider in the Twin Cities. I would put the Minneapolis Times in there. Olson won re-election as an at-large commissioner running on an anti-automobile platform and has proposed closing parkways periodically since his first election. He's selling this as a pilot, but would put in permanent barriers to test the concept, collect data on how much park usage would change, impacts on accessibility, and impacts on emergency response. Olson acknowledges the idea has limited appeal among Minneapolis residents. What does that mean? He doesn't care, does it? It has limited appeal, which is where he should have stopped right there. He should have just stopped and ended his anti-automobile nonsense. In a recent interview, he described the closures as controversial. So there's limited appeal. It's controversial. Then why do you want to do it, pal? He said he cites opposition from seniors, people with disabilities, and people who use cars, which means almost everybody.
I don't have results. I just have the
Thank you.
vote.
Olson does not acknowledge that diverting cars off the parkway would increase travel by automobiles, which increases carbon emissions and pollution. He does not acknowledge the inherent sexism and racism in his proposal, giving that women bike at rates at half that of men, that walking and biking by children has declined by half since 2001, that biking peaked in 1980 and has been declining ever since, or that white people bike at double the rate or more of people of color. Wow. He also does not acknowledge that vehicle miles traveled by automobile in Minneapolis has increased every year except 2020, which is unsurprising, given the land use of the Twin Cities is almost all auto-oriented, and cars are the only real way to access most of the Twin Cities. Critics like Preserve the Parkway contend that closures would undermine the Parkway's core purpose, enabling uninterrupted multimodal access to connect people across Minneapolis's extensive park system. Olson plans to push the pilot through the committee and full board approval in a single night, sidesteps community input on this divisive issue, especially for newly elected board members. The park board meeting is open to public comment and this doesn't help us today. This is the 8th. And the public comment began at 5 p.m. yesterday at the Mary Merrill Minneapolis Park and Rec Board headquarters on West River Road. Yeah. So what do you got here?
When does it wrap? When does the public comment stretch wrap up? How long do you?
Well, it was yesterday. I bet it was an hour or two.
So it was only yesterday?
Apparently.
Joe, why are people like this given a voice? How come somebody serious, a grown-up adult, come in and just shut this guy up?
Well, what can we learn here? This guy doesn't plan to achieve much in life, would be one of my suspicions.
With all due respect,
he thinks that cars are bad, and he doesn't want you in them, and his only way he can really affect that is use his role in the park board to stymie you. And he, apparently, the public be damned, that's what he wants to do.
So this reminds me of that Minneapolis City Council person who's going to push through his views no matter what.
Right.
He doesn't care about the opposition.
That's Cesar Chavez. Jason Chavez said that.
It's called the Grand Rounds. It's the best park system in the country.
Well, here's some pushback, though. On Facebook, the North Loop Neighborhood Association posted that NLNA volunteers will be there to oppose the plan because many more vehicles will be funneled onto our residential streets. A closure will increase fighter response times, and it denies access to our riverfront for our elderly and our disabled neighbors who rely on vehicles to get there.
It's as stupid as rethinking 94 between the downtowns. Why are these people given a voice?
They come out of the failed academy with a corrosive, corrupted view of America. They blame white people and automobiles and capitalism for the fact that they haven't gotten anywhere and never will. And so they fight back by getting jobs like this on the park board and then condemning your automobile. But have you consider what this means? It says Parkways. Does that mean Minnehaha Parkway would be closed to cars?
We're talking from Camden, North Minneapolis, all the way down Theo Worth and the Three Lakes on the west side, then the river,
Minnehaha
the creek,
Parkway, right
the
down
creek,
to Minnehaha Park.
Nokomis to the falls, and then I'm assuming hopping on West River Parkway and heading into downtown Minneapolis. Or you can circle up onto Franklin and then jump on the east side of the river and take that down through St. Paul.
Tom Olson, would you allow me to use my scooter on the Parkway?
No.
Oh, heavens no.
Ooh.
And it's funny that the liberal term multimodal is being used against him in this case.
No, it's just a shame, and it's our fault. Everything we're facing is our fault.
This is the idea of a drunk ass at the end of the bar who's been drinking since noon. People like this should not be given a voice.
I got an idea.
Well, he got elected. We don't pay attention. We've let it go too long.
Maybe you mentioned this. He's the Park and Rec Board president.
Yeah, I did mention that. Right off the top, I mentioned that.
Yikes.
It's a
He
Carol
needs to be-
Becker piece.
Picked up by the collar and hauled to the state border and kicked into Iowa.
What good does he think he brings about?
He's
he
serving white
think he's
people that
bring-
ride bikes.
Well, does he think he's bringing about a good? These are the collectivists. This is anti-collectivism. He's disregarding people with disabilities. He's disregarding people that don't have bikes.
I wish it was the summer so you could go on a scooter ride with a clipboard and a notebook and mark down how many homes the only access to their home is via the Parkway, where they don't have an alley, they don't have a side street. It's only from the Parkway.
Which are coveted places to live.
Oh, my goodness.
They're not going to
yes.
shoot this down.
Oh,
There's
my
no way
goodness.
they're going to go forward.
Well, that's
with
why I
this.
asked you to look up the vote, but you don't have
I
that.
don't have the
you
vote.
don't have the
It's-
vote.
Yeah, I've been looking too, and I cannot find a final vote.
No, this
A
guy.
lot of what the socialists want, I don't understand the good they see in it.
Well, it serves them and nobody else.
Well, their good would be no cars. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you live on there. You can park your car on the.
Or as Joe mentioned, drive that Amazon semi down Summit. Yeah, sure. We got to get rid of the freeway.
What?
Come on, people.
But
Ambulance, police,
No, you don't want that.
grandpa, grandma.
In their
Mom with
walkers going to
kids.
see the river.
Not even
Yeah.
that, but think of how many students come
How
to
do
the
you
U,
think-
St. Thomas.
How do you think
Right.
Royce
Down
takes
the-
a walk?
Yes.
He takes the Royce walk.
We're depriving
you put
him.
the top down and drive on the Parkway.
And where are the high schoolers going to go for their keggers down by the river?
How
They
are
can't
you
even
gonna-
park close.
How are you going to access the falls?
You're not.
At
You're
all.
going to walk there.
You're going to park in a neighborhood because this would even include this would include everything.
Look up Tom Olson, Matt, quickly. It's Olsen. See if you can get any background on him. I'm predicting failed academy graduate. It'd be interesting to know. Tom Olson, Olsen. Any bio information that you quickly can come across should be just.
Doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Well, he's not known enough to have
Meet
one.
Tom.
You got it? I got his.
Go ahead, John.
Well, go ahead, John.
When he was running, his page for when he was running.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything about school learning, but he says, I joined the Community Environmental Advisory Commission back in 2016 to work with my neighbors to study and advise on policies that would create a sustainable and just future for everyone. As vice chair, I work to reform our bylaws and guiding principles to ensure that the needs and voices of our BIPOC community members were prioritized. It's that in that vein, I stepped down from my role so that I could make room for new voices. That's
He currently
basically
lives
all he's
in
got.
South Uptown
he a
with his
renter?
wife Paige
He's
and
married.
their pup Perry.
Oh, they got the pup.
Currently works for the Minnesota House as a DFL communication specialist.
So he doesn't have a job.
Correct.
Joe, the Grand Rounds actually starts up on Stinson by 35W, travels through Columbia Park, over into Camden, down through Theo Worth and Worth Lake, Cedar Lake, Lake of the Isles, Lake Calhoun, Lake Harriet, Minnehaha Parkway, around Lake Nokomis, past the falls. You get past the falls, you can either and then you can get on West River Parkway, travel all the way back into downtown Minneapolis.
You know what? He's not a guy.
Here's what he wants to do:
He's
transform
not
our
a guy.
parkways, adapt for new generation of park users. Our parks and rec services are at their best when they're in use. Many of our fields, facilities, and recreation activities have fallen out of use as our city's demographics and the priorities of parks users have shifted.
Only because they come to us all the way from Kaiwaka, New Zealand, the home of the Lymans. It was on this day.
Joe, today is January 8th.
In 1851, Hole of the Day, an Ojibwe leader sent a letter to the Minnesota Territorial Legislature inviting its members to come to a St. Paul church and hear him speak about the sufferings and needs of his people and their desire for peace. They are like some poor animal driven into a hole and condemned to die, he said, inspiring some of the most influential whites in the territory to form a committee to solicit contributions for the Ojibwe. On this day,
Jan 8.
1920, Jacob A.O. Preuss, Jr., son of soon-to-be Governor Preuss Sr., was born in St. Paul. After becoming president of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod in 1969, he, along with other advocates of traditionalism, were troubled by alleged liberalism in the faculty at Concordia Seminary in St. Louis and their attitude toward biblical authority. A crucial struggle about doctrinal purity ensued, with Preuss successfully being reelected president in 1973 and thus securing the traditional ways of the Synod.
Ah, yes.
On this day,
The old synod.
in 1924, 6 people died when a car crashed through the ice on Lake Andrews near Alexandria. You know that lake, Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny. On this day,
Jan 8.
You asked.
You did ask him.
I gave him a one-word.
I know he didn't seem interested.
Wasn't short
Yeah,
enough.
he wasn't.
Till truth be told, I'm packing up. I'm ready to go.
Even if you had nodded, he
On
would have
this
said,
day-
okay, Kenny.
On this day,
Jan 8.
in 1934, during the Depression, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a Minnesota mortgage moratorium law, a decision that State Attorney General Harry H. Peterson applauded as a victory for the people of Minnesota that will enable many farmers and city dwellers to hold on to their homes until the good times return. On this day,
Jan 8.
in 1971, that evil Republican Nixon signed a law creating Voyageurs National Park. Supported by former Governor Elmer L. Anderson and Charles A. Lindbergh, the legislation had been approved by Congress on October 5 of the previous year. On this day,
January 8th.
former Minnesota Twin and California Angels player Rod Carew was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Carew had a .328 lifetime batting average, hitting over 315 consecutive seasons with both teams. On this day in sports disappointment history,
January 8th.
in this day in 1976, Sid Hartman reported that Harvey McKay's admission of NCAA violations. I don't even remember what that was. Harvey did something illegal. On this day,
Jan 8.
in 2002, it was reported that Carl
Contraction.
Pohlad loaned Bud Selig and the Brewers $3 million in 1995, a violation of baseball's rules.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but maybe that kept us from contraction because Selig then owed Pohlad a favor.
But Pohlad wanted to
legal as
contract
hell.
the team.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's right.
That backfired.
Thank you, GLers.
Hey, thank you. GLers, do us a favor and watch this video with no sound and subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube
love
channel
that.
where you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind the scenes
just keep
footage.
going.
Just
Behind the
check us all out on YouTube.
This is
You're getting
behind
it.
the scenes
This
stuff.
really is behind the scenes right now. And also, you can find us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. And sign up for the Town Council, where you could be the GLer of the Week, brought to us by our friends at Masters Maples. Matthew?
And I'm sorry, even if you're a staff member, we don't do birthdays, Gabe, so sorry, unless it's mine. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Gabe.
This
21, baby.
How you doing?
It's the day after somebody else's birthday.
Let's just go here. I gotta go.
Oh,